What's up guys, it's Dreamy Genius. I'm gonna show you how to do a little tutorial about how to do green screen on Final Cut. Alright, not a lot of people do green screen on Final Cut just because Final Cut really can't be doing that. That's more of an After Effects / Premiere type thing. But I'm gonna show you how to use the maximum capabilities of green screen in Final Cut. Alright, so we got our, original footage. So the first thing we need to do is throw a keyer in there so we can key out the green screen. But before we do that, best thing to do, what I would recommend, is to make that green just a little bit more brighter, just so it'd be easy for the keyer to key out. And basically all I did there was just, go to the hue and saturation curves. I had the little eyedropper here, click the green and just bring the saturation up and bring the luma down a little bit just to have it more potent. Okay, so now that we got our keyer in there, next thing we need to do, because we don't want all of this right here. We don't want all the outside, we don't want this little wooden piece. All we want is good old Asher. So what we need to do is throw a mask in there. And basically what that does is just cuts everything out instead of him. Let's go ahead and make a few points here. Important part too, very important part. If you're lazy with the mask, it will show this, so try to keep it on your subject as best as possible. If not, you can always feather it at the end. It's like a little cheat code, but still try to keep it pristine. Alright, and I just want to add a few more extra points just because it gave me a little bit more leeway to work around with. And all you gotta do is just hit right click and then add the point. So we're gonna hit play to see how the mask looks. It doesn't look bad at all, but you can see a little bit of cutoff on the top of his head and a little bit of his body. So what we can do is just feather a little bit like so. And I'm just scrubbing right now. As you see, my people, we get a little bit of curtain showing right here. So all we need to do is just bring that down. You could animate the mask, but I'm gonna try to play with the fall off a little bit. So we will have to animate the mask a little bit. So you go to control points, hit this little special yellow button right here, and also mess with your transformation points because you never know if you're gonna have to rotate it, make it bigger, make it smaller. So it's better to be safe than sorry. And basically what you wanna do is just move the mask just to make sure no area is really showing outside the green screen. You can go by threes. By every 3 frames you make an adjustment, or every 4 frames. I wouldn't recommend anything more than that, just because if it is more than 3 to 4 frames, it will look jittery. So to keep it smooth, keep it between 3 and 4 frames. Since he's standing still, I'm just gonna go ahead and just speed through this a little bit. So now we got our tracked mask. It looks pretty good, but now we need to mess with the keyer just a tad bit because you do see a little bit of sunlight going through the green screen. This is little spots right here. We just can clean it up just a little bit. We mess with the levels right here. We go to map tools and levels. Go to your shadows, and you can see how it's kind of going away a little bit. And to push that down a little bit more, we're gonna go to our highlights too as well and bring that down. So now that we got our beautiful key, the next thing to do is put something behind that key. What I recommend is going to Storyblocks. They actually a pretty good website. Funny story, quick one. I accidentally spent $200 in that bit. Crazy. I digress. You can go on Google, YouTube, find any type of image or video, and you can put it behind your subject or replace that black with an image or video. So I already have one, which is a city. So the picture I have is a city. And as you see, he's not blended in well enough. So the next step to do with green screen is compositing, or blending in your subject better with its surroundings. So the first thing we need to do is go to exposure. I usually color grade in color wheels, but I feel like it would be easier with the color board. So usually I color grade with color wheels, but I think color boards would be easier just because you don't have to do much with it. With color wheels, you got to move a whole lot more. Let's just go straight to the shadows. And I want to blend this black in with the building, kind of, sort of, probably like to this or to right here, because if a shadow is coming from in front of you, there's gonna be a shadow behind you. And you see how I just bring the shadow back, he just blends in more automatically. Next is the midtones, and then you just got to go by your eye right here, but I'm just trying to make it look like it's a little bit of light behind him, but most of the light is coming from in front of him. So now that I got the exposure down, next I want to get the color down as well, because he looks kind of too orange, for me at least, to be in the city. So next I'm going to mix with the lumas, which is still the mid-tone shadows and highlights, but this is giving me a little bit more control. So I'm going to the reds just to make them less orange. I want to put more blue in them because the city is kind of bluish. I'm just going to throw a tad bit of green in there just to match them just a tad bit more. So to show y'all like the before and after when it comes to like color grading your subject into the green screen, you will see the difference when I show you. Look at the difference. That's the before and that's after. You tell me which one looks better to you. So we can always add a little bit of, a little bit of spunk, a little bit of spice into it. That's a dreamy genius way. So what y'all can do, y'all can add letterboxes in a plugin. If you don't have this plugin, it's by Red Giant. You don't have to get it. I just like using it because it adds more to the effect. Personally, you can always add letterbox, which steals the effect even more. All right, so now it's time for this one. So the reason why it looks kind of weird like this right here is because I did some keyframing. I was trying to make him fall through a sky. I didn't want him just staying in one stationary place, so I just kind of keyframed the whole entire video. So the black spaces won't matter, but today I'm not going to show you how to do keyframes. That'll be for a later video because that is a whole entire beast on its own. But what I will do is show you how I did animate it. The red lines is how I moved the frame, and this dots or the spaces between how many frames I made adjustments at. So as you can see, the dot moves. That's the animations that I made. So let's go ahead and add a key to this man, to the green screen. So boom. So like I said, after we added a key to this man, you can see the black spaces don't matter, and you can see why I keyframe him. So it's as if he's just moving a little bit more. I'm just adding a little bit more motion to him. Let's go ahead and add a key right here as well. And this is a pretty good key. I'm not even gonna lie. So we don't have to even do much right here. Maybe it's a tiny bit here where you set a little, so the way to fix that shadow is again, go to the keyer, go to the matte tools, and let's mess with our shadows first. And you can see how it disappears a little bit more, but be careful not to push it too much, because if you do lose some of your image as well. But that won't happen if you like your green screen right. And next is the midtones. Now we can't really get our highlights because the highlights were taken out completely with the green screen, which is good. Next we add our two images, which is a Milky Way galaxy for me and some clouds that are moving in an upwards position to make it look like he's falling a little bit more. So one thing I did do with this image is in the compositing is I made it a overlay just because it made him blend in a little bit better compared to normal or any other compositing modes. With the first one, it adds still in normal because again, normal was the best compositing mode for this image. So sometimes you will have to play around with it just to get the best result, but for this one, overlay was the best result for me. Next, let's go ahead and color grade this man or composite him into the image just a tad bit better. Let's go to our shadows, midtones, highlight. And remember, I still have my effects, the letterbox, and my overlay. Let's see how it looks. And basically what I did here again was go to the color curves to give me more control over my color. And I have the overlay over him just to make him blend in better. And I can see as I color grade how the effect's gonna look. That looks pretty good to me. So now we have this last clip right here. And so we already keyed him, right? But it's one thing that's in the way. We have a little black spot right here. And that basically what that is the outside of the green screen. And we don't need that. We don't like that. So this part of the green screen, the reason why we seen that black spot right there was because this was outside of the green screen. So the way to hide that is we're gonna need to do an animation mask. What I recommend is to make a cut just so it won't mess up anything else before the image. So let's go ahead and cut that, get a mask. And I always recommend to zoom out just so you can see what you're doing. Just key around that little black area. And it is important to mask outside the image like this, just so you can only cut out this part right here. So he got cut out. The only thing we need to do is just hit invert. And once you hit invert, there he is. He's back in the image again. And now we can play that through and we have nothing there. So now that we have everything done, I appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned something and more videos will be on the way. Have a wonderful day.